Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Gonna be giving you my starting 11 prediction for Manchester United's game against RB Leipzig. So I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is gonna go with the 3-5-2 formation. So David De Gea in goal. David De Gea has travelled to Germany. He's just come back from a knee injury. Now, obviously, if David De Gea doesn't start in goal, it will be Dean Henderson. Dean Henderson recently made his first start in the Premier League. That was the 3-1 win against West Ham. But yeah, I think it will be David De Gea in goal. Now, the three centre-halves will be Victor Lindelof, Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw has travelled to Germany. He's just come back from a hamstring problem. He hasn't played since the 3-1 win against Everton. At left wing back, I think it will be Alex Telles. At right wing back, it will be Wan-Bissaka. In the midfield, I think it will be Paul Pogba and Scott McTominay and Bruno Fernandes. And up top, Marcus Rashford and Mason Greenwood. So that's how I think Manchester United could line up. Now, Edison Cavani and Anthony Martial are not available for this game. It's been confirmed by Solskjaer. They haven't travelled to Germany. I think they've just got niggles, but obviously they are still injured. It's actually said that Martial's had a groin problem and Edison Cavani's had a muscle problem. So that's a blow for Manchester United. I think Edison Cavani has enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career. He scored 2 goals the other week against Southampton and also got an assist. He came off the bench. He did well against Istanbul Başakşehir. He did well when he came on against West Brom. He scored his first goal for the club in our 3-1 win against Everton. And he almost scored with his first touch on his Premier League debut against Chelsea. When we got Edison Cavani, I did say, didn't I, he will be the next Zlatan Ibrahimovic at Man United. Now, I think we try to get his way out of, the FA giving him a ban, Edison Cavani, because it's recently said that he is facing a 3-match ban. That's minimum for the racist comment that he put on social media. And the FA were investigating that social media post, and Solskjaer confirmed prior to the PSG game that obviously Edison Cavani apologised, but he did support the FA for investigating the social media post. And Anthony Martial, even if he'd have been fit, I probably wouldn't have started him anyway. I know it's a big game for Man United tomorrow, but Anthony Martial's not been clinical enough this season. He did have a chance against West Ham before he got taken off. He had, 2 good chances against PSG, didn't convert them. He didn't do so bad, though, in the Istanbul Başakşehir game at Old Trafford. But prior to that, he has really, really struggled. And Solskjaer said prior to the Istanbul Başakşehir game that Martial's been struggling because of the 3-match suspension he had in the Premier League, because he did get sent off in our 6-1 defeat to Tottenham. I've heard that we're not getting the best out of Martial because maybe we're not playing him in the right position. When we've been playing him recently, we've been putting him out wide. But a lot last season, he was playing centrally. Ollie was the one that gave him that number 9 shirt. Martial's enjoyed a good 5 years or so at the football club. He was very good last season, scored 23 goals in 48 games, and he was good in his debut season under the Louis van Gaal era. We've obviously got Phil Jones still out with injury. So obviously with Anthony Martial and Cavani not being available, we've got obviously Odi Nagalo as an option. I think Odi Nagalo could come on in the game. You know, Igalo doesn't really play much now for Manchester United. The main explanation why we got him on deadline day in January was to get a cover up for Marcus Rashford, because at the time Marcus Rashford was out with that back injury. But credit Igalo, he was our top goal scorer in the FA Cup last season. Maybe there's still a possibility chance that we could extend his loan. You know, his current loan at the moment expires in January. But it's a shame Marcel and Cavani aren't fit, because, you know, there would have been other options as well. You know what I mean? But we only need a draw against RB Leipzig to qualify for the knockout stage. Or obviously we need to win. Now, nearly 2 months ago, we beat RB Leipzig at Old Trafford by 5-0. Obviously, Marcus Rashford had scored a hat-trick. He became the second Man United player to score a hat-trick as a substitute. And the other goals came from Anthony Martial and Mason Greenwood. It's one of our biggest wins under Solskjaer, that 5-0 game against RB Leipzig, and I wasn't even expecting that. But I think this game at the Red Bull Arena, Leipzig, tomorrow is going to be totally contrast to the one at Old Trafford. Now, RB Leipzig, they're a good team. They're doing well in the Bundesliga this season. They are sitting second. You know, they've got one of the best young coaches in the world in Julian Nagelsmann. You know, last season he guided RB Leipzig to the Champions League semi-final, and I think last season they finished third in the Bundesliga. You know, they've got some good players as well that we need to be aware of. You know, they've obviously got Danny Olmo, good player. They've got Emil Forsberg, he's one of their key players. They've got Yusuf Poulsen, who's quite good. They've got Christopher Nkunku. I like Dayat Upamecano, very, very good centre-half. Manchester United have obviously been linked with him. You know, we could make a move for him at the end of the season, because he's going to be available for around £36 million, because that's when his release clause does become active. And quite a few weeks ago now, Dayat Upamecano confirmed that it's likely he will be leaving RB Leipzig next summer. They've got Marcel Sabitzer, who I like. They've also got a few injuries. They've got Klosterman out. They've got Konrad Lemar out. They've got Hartman out. They've got Benjamin Henrichs out. They've got Hwang out. So they're the injuries that RB Leipzig have got. Last summer, they lost Timo Werner because he went to Chelsea. We've obviously got Fred suspended for this game, as you all know, because he got sent off in our 3-1 defeat to PSG last week. Fred did receive 2 yellow cards, but he was lucky not to be sent off in the first half for the headbutt on Paredes, and he got the second yellow card from a slide challenge on Ander Herrera. To be fair though, he did win the ball. Fred didn't play any part in the 3-1 win against West Ham. Solskjaer explained why, because he's resting him for the game against Manchester City. And Manchester City is also a massive game for Manchester United. You know, are Martial and Cavani going to be available for the game against Manchester City? That is the question. But we have been in good form recently. We've won our last 4 league games in a row. We've been exceptional away from home. We've been coming from behind a lot, to win games. We've won our last 9 away games in the league in a row. But at home, we're not doing so good, so that is an element of concern. Now, I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the long-term manager for Manchester United. I've said this time and time again, and I hope I'm proven wrong. Solskjaer's been at Manchester United now for almost 2 years. Sometime this month is 2-year anniversary at the football club. Now, he's managed over 100 games for Man United in all competitions. He is under contract with the club until 2022, and I'm actually very sceptical that he will see out his contract. Now, this is his second full season at Manchester United, and I said if we could finish in the top 4 this season, and if we could win a trophy, that would represent a very, very good season for Man United. Then that would give us something to build on. I think there is a chance that we could win a trophy this season. I think we could win the Carabao Cup, win into the quarterfinals of that. I think we could win the FA Cup, but we won't win the Premier League, I don't think, and I don't think we'll win the Champions League. But I hope we can get to knockout stages of the competition, because obviously if we don't, we're back in the Europa League, and then reflecting on that, Man United are going to lose money. Solskjaer did recently say, though, that, Manchester United can win the Premier League, and he did make an admission saying that the job is not too big for him. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is out of his depth at Man United, and a lot of his decision-making worries me. But there again, on the other side of things, there's been some games where he has showed tactical flexibility. Now, Ed Woodward came out the other week, like I updated you on, and he says that Manchester United will back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer with a long-term plan centred around summer transfer windows. So basically, Woodward's agreeing on Solskjaer's comment, because Solskjaer did recently make a prediction ahead of the January transfer window, and he says that he doesn't expect many ins or outs. But Woodward's come out quite a few times to support Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But it's good that we are making plans for next year. We're looking to make more signings. There has been a lot of players on our agenda. We obviously got to focus on the outgoings next year as well as the incomings. Because there's still deadwood at the football club that we need to get rid of. Now, Jesse Lingard, I think we'll be looking to get rid of him next year. Like I updated you recently, it said that, Man United is set to extend his contract. He's into the final year of his current contract. Now, Lingard's representatives are trying to explore a move for Lingard in January. Now, reportedly his agent has held talks with Real Sociedad, Celtic and Rangers have also been interested, and so too have Aston Villa. Lingard's now back, he come out of his self-isolation period the other week and he come back from injury, but Lingard doesn't regularly get in our team now. And don't forget there was a period where Lingard didn't score 1 goal or provide an assist in over a year. That was in the Premier League. Marcus Rojo, I think we'll get rid of him next year because he's never really established himself as a first-team regular since he came in. Phil Jones, I think we'll get rid of him next year, like I mentioned, still injured. I can see us getting rid of Sergio Romero because Sergio Romero is now our third choice goalkeeper. Daniel James, do you think he could go next year? Because he doesn't get in the team a lot now. He's been out of form when he has played, but despite that, Daniel James said he still loves it at Man United. Nemanja Matic, I think he could go next year because he's actually lost his place in the team, Nemanja Matic. The only reason he was playing recently quite a few times is because Pogba was out with that ankle injury and McTominay had a knock. Matic did have some good games though towards the end of last season. Could Juan Mata be sold next year? A few weeks ago there was talks of Brandon Williams going out on loan because, Brandon Williams is now our third choice left back. Following the arrival of Alex Telles, Dean Henderson. A few weeks ago there was talks about him going out on loan. So there you go. Like I updated you the other week, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was asked about a new contract at Manchester United, and he came out and said that a new contract is not his priority at the moment. His priority is leading the club to long-term success. And he did mention that the team are going places under his management. You know what I mean? But I have taken positives from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's tenure. I have. He's made some good signings since he got appointed in as Manchester United manager. He's spent over £200 million and he's enjoyed 4 transfer windows at the club. In the summer of 2019, he brought Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. In January, he brought Bruno Fernandes in and Odion Igalo in on loan. And in the summer transfer window of this year, he brought Donny van der Beek in, Alex Telles, Edison Cavani, Facundo Pellistri, and Amad Diallo Traore should be joining the club in January. Ole hopes that he will obtain a work permit, Amad Traore. We've also seen a lot of players depart the club since he got recommended in. Solskjaer did well last season in his first full season. He got us qualification for the Champions League, also got us third, and he guided us to 3 semi-finals. And I also like the way he has promoted the youth. And in these comebacks recently, I credit him for his substitutions because obviously they have changed the complex of the game. Obviously when Cavani came on against Southampton, that changed that game. When Rashford and Bruno came on against West Ham, that changed that game. Didn't it? So yeah, these definitely are positives to take. Obviously, there has been, a lot of talks of Mauricio Pochettino replacing Solskjaer at Manchester United. Obviously, at one point, he was the favourite to take over. The last time I heard, Real Madrid were the favourites to get Pochettino in. Massimiliano Allegri, he's been on our agenda a couple of times. It said a few weeks ago that Julian Nagelsmann was on our agenda. Thomas Tuchel, it said we could make a move for him if we sack Solskjaer in the next few weeks. Them reports were stemming from Germany. But Solskjaer did make an admission saying that you can't get past 6 games. I think the main explanation why he's still Man United manager is because he's a club legend. And I think reflecting on that, our board have softened their stance on him. Disregarding being a club legend, I think, he probably would have been sacked by now. But yeah, we recently had a very, very good win against West Ham, beating them by 3-1. So that will give us a lot of confidence going into this game against RB Leipzig. Now, like I mentioned on my match reaction for the West Ham game, West Ham were very, very dominant for 60 minutes. They kept the ball well, they pressed, they was very good on the counter-attack, they had chances. Pablo Fornals, he had a good chance. He had 2 chances. He hit the side netting and also hit the post. Jared Bowen, he had a goal disallowed and he had another chance in the game. Sebastian Haller, he was very, very dangerous. West Ham just didn't convert their chances. But as soon as Rashford and Bruno came on, that changed things, didn't it? Obviously our goals came from Paul Pogba. That was a fantastic goal from Paul Pogba from, 25 yards out. There was a lot of controversy regarding VAR. because obviously the build up to Pogba's goal, there was a lot of talk saying that the ball went out of play. David Moyes even said, it went out of play. I think VAR did look at it though. But yeah, you can't take the finish away from Paul Pogba, and that was Paul Pogba's first start for Man United in the Premier League for over a month because he's just come back from an ankle injury. It was Bruno Fernandes that had got the assist. Obviously, our second goal came from Mason Greenwood. That was an absolutely fantastic goal, lovely touch, and it was a half volley. Alex Tellez got the assist for Greenwood's goal. Greenwood should have had another one as well. And the third goal came from Marcus Rashford. Rashford didn't start against West Ham because obviously he did have a shoulder problem. It was a lovely chip goal as well from Rashford. Mata had got the assist. Rashford also hit the post in the West Ham game, so he should have had 2 goals. So we scored in 3 goals in like 13 minutes. West Ham aren't a top team, but they have still been in a good vein of form, and that was our first win at the London Stadium since 2017. But like I said, in regards to Solskjaer, reflecting how long he's been at the club, he has learned quite a lot. He has gained some managerial experience. Man United is the 3rd club in his managerial career. Before he came, he was at Molde. He won a few Norwegian titles at Molde. And before he was at Molde, he was at Cardiff. He enjoyed a very, very short tenure with Cardiff. The main explanation he got sacked from Cardiff is because he ended up getting Cardiff relegated. Did Solskjaer. I think Manchester United can win the Premier League again, but I don't know when. Probably not this season. It's going to take at least a couple of years for us, to probably win the Premier League. We haven't won it since 2013, so we haven't won it now for like 8 years. We have been inconsistent in the last 8 years. Obviously, we've only won 4 trophies since Fergie left. That was the FA Cup under Van Gaal and the Europa League, the League Cup and the Community Shield under Mourinho. We've sacked 3 managers since Ferguson left, and that was Moyes, Louis Van Gaal and Jose Mourinho. So all is our 4th permanent manager since Ferguson left. We've spent over £1 billion on players since Ferguson left. And we've brought around 36 players in, haven't we? And I just think we've made a lot of mistakes in the last 7.5, 8 years or so. That's one of the main explanations why we have been so inconsistent. You know what I mean? I said to you, didn't I, it would be very beneficial if Manchester United could get a director of footballing, because I think that's one of the structural changes that we need at the club. I think we've been in the process of trying to get a director of footballing now for like the last 3 years or something like that. But if we are to get one in, we need someone who knows the club inside out and someone who's obviously got that experience. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, still got a lot to do at Man United. He's still got to make more signings. He's obviously got to get rid of players. I think he probably will still be Man United manager in January. With it the way we're playing at the moment. Put into the equation, he's inheriting a squad that is worth a good £800 million. The vast majority of this team is Jose Mourinho's. But we have, got good players. There's players that have impressed me this season at Manchester United. Like I've mentioned, Marcus Rashford. He's really, really impressed me. Scored against West Ham. He's also provided assists. He's just really, really improved. He gets good runs in behind. His finishing's good. But I just think we need to keep Marcus Rashford out wide because that's where he's more effective. A couple of times this season we've played him on that right wing, but he seldom plays there, Marcus Rashford, on that right wing. A couple of times he's played centrally, but I don't like him up top, Marcus Rashford. Well, he can perform well there sometimes, but I just think he's better out wide. Marcus Rashford. He's been part of the club for several years. He's been a United player since the age of 7 and he's been in our senior squad since 2016. Now, Bruno Fernandes, I've obviously been very, very impressed with him. Bruno Fernandes, just wait there a second. Bruno Fernandes is Manchester United's best player, without a shadow of a doubt. You know, Bruno Fernandes, I think scored, is it around 22 goals and provided 14 assists in like 37 games. You know, he's enjoyed nearly a year now at the football club. You know, he recently won Player of the Month for November and he's won that quite a few times. We paid £47 million for Bruno Fernandes from Sporting Lisbon back in January. But he just made a difference in the team. He's definitely our best signing since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. Disregarding him, Bruno Fernandes, you know, we'd be struggling more, wouldn't we? And some people think that we can't play without Bruno Fernandes in the team because obviously we'll struggle. Like updated you recently, he said that Man United are preparing to offer Bruno Fernandes a new contract worth £200,000 a week, doubling his current wages. Because at the moment, Bruno Fernandes is on £100,000 a week, so he's on the same as Dean Henderson and Jesse Lingard. But in most of Bruno Fernandes' games, he's been consistent. There's only been a couple of games, you know, where he's looked off the pace. He weren't good against PSG last week, and he was very poor against Başakşehir in Turkey because he was dispossessed around 34 times. Now, Donny van der Beek, you know, he's also really, really impressed me. He's been getting starts recently. You know, he started against West Ham. That was his second start in the Premier League for Man United. Solskjaer took him off. I don't think he should have taken Donny van der Beek off, though. He wasn't too bad on his full Premier League debut against Southampton the other week. Recently, Donny van der Beek's been playing in that deeper role. That's where he's more effective. You know, you can put him in the number 10 and you can also put him out wide. We paid £40 million for him from Ajax. Now, Fred, he's impressed me in quite a few games this season. You know, there has been a couple of games where he has looked off the pace, but in the games he's played well in, he's showed good attacking intent. He's kept the ball well, he's broke up the play well. And yeah, you know, we paid around £47 million for Fred from Shakhtar Donetsk. Like I said, Edinson Cavani, he's also really, really impressed me. You know, he's enjoyed a fantastic start to his Man United career. Alex Telles, I think he's also enjoyed a fantastic start to his Man United career as well. You know, we got Telles for like, 15.4 million with add-ons included. You know, Luke Shaw, he impressed me before he got that hamstring problem. Because in his last two games he did play and he did get 2 assists. But he's now back anyway. But my element of concern about Luke Shaw is just far too injury prone, isn't he? I've been impressed with Harry Maguire in quite a few games this season. You know, in the games he's played well and he's been very effective in the air. He showed that ability to play out from the back and that. And he's made some vital interceptions as Harry Maguire. But my element of concern about him, he is too static. But don't forget, Harry Maguire did have early season troubles. He's our current captain and he's the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment because we got him in a deal worth £80 million. You know, and Wan-Bissaka, you know, he's impressed me this season. You know, the games he's played well in, he's got forward well. His defensive contributions been good. He's put good crosses into the box. He's got into decent positions. You know, Bissaka scored 1 goal for the club and that was a 4-1 win against Newcastle earlier on in the season. We still have his reservations about him, you know, about his lack of attacking intent and his distribution. And it said not so long ago that Man United are in search for a right-back. And like I said, David De Gea, he's impressed me this season because there's been quite a lot of games where he's made good saves. There's obviously been some games where he really hasn't had nothing to do. I said he will remain our number 1 for this present time. This is David De Gea's 10th season at Manchester United. So he has been a long servant at the club. So, yeah, you know, they are the players that have impressed me. You know, Pogba, he's been quite poor, hasn't he, Paul Pogba? But he was good against West Ham. I'll give him that. So hopefully Paul Pogba can build on that and he can, rejuvenate his form. I think there's still a good chance Pogba could leave next year, like I've mentioned. Martial, like I said, I've been disappointed with him. Daniel James, I've been disappointed with him. Matic, I've been disappointed with him when he's played. Lindelof's been disappointing in quite a lot of games for Man United, but there again, he's enjoyed some good games this season. So there you go. Mason Greenwood, now he did well against West Ham, like I said, scored. But I hadn't had much of a perception on him this season because obviously he's had a lot of off-field issues. Obviously he's had injuries, he had illness and that, Mason Greenwood. So anyway guys, that's everything to update for today. Drop your comments, like, explore on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.